What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to Nintendo Landin', the spin-off channel from my main channel, Nintendo Land. If you are here, it's either because you want to be here or you somehow found this page by accident. So I ask, if you found it by accident, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you love just Nintendo rants, because that's all we do here. We rant. There's no cuts, there's no edits. I sit in front of this microphone, I rant, and I show you gameplay with what I'm playing recently. So yeah, we have been growing really fast thanks to you guys. We are almost at 3,000 subscribers. We just had the opportunity to be monetized now, so I thank you all for seriously supporting this channel. It's just a fun way for me to talk and hang out. I've seen a lot of your comments, how you listening to it on the go, on the road, on the way to work. Somebody literally said that they listened to this the day before they got married, which it's a weird thing to be choosing to listen to my videos on my side channel before you get married. But you know what? You do you. Congratulations to the person that was getting married. I hope you guys have a wonderful life together. Also, it seems like they were Ohio State fans, so go Bucks. But with that said, I just thank you guys for supporting, and today we're going to be ranting about what's going on around the world. So if you've seen my main channel, I was talking about how right now, as a Nintendo content creator, it seems like the way to success is just being negative. And it's not just negativity, though. I think right now on the internet, everything is just toxic. I mean, it's toxic on Twitter, it's toxic on Instagram, it's toxic on, probably not Instagram, I haven't been on that in forever, but it's toxic on, YouTube. It's just everywhere you go. It just, people hate on video games, they hate on movies, they hate on everything. It just seems like that's the way the world goes around. But I wanted to talk about the two sides to the coin here, because it's not just negative toxicity that's taking over. It's not just toxic negativity, it's also toxic positivity. And I think both of these sides have been showing more evidence with the Switch 2's launch more than ever. And it's just really hard to do or say anything online anymore. I'm somebody who's experienced both sides of this extremely bad. I've seen the people who just hate Nintendo bash me and call me a shill. I've seen the people that just love Nintendo say that I'm a hater and I need to just stop talking about Nintendo if I don't enjoy Nintendo anymore. And it's just both sides really come at you. And I've kind of started this video in the past and I never really went through with it, but I really want to post this today because I feel like now more than ever it's at an all-time high for how bad it is. So let's get into it. All right, the Switch 2. Man, when it was revealed and even when it came out, we saw a lot of hate. Now, we see this regardless every single time with Nintendo. When the Switch 1 first came out, it got hit with a lot of hate, but that hate came from mostly outsiders, people that weren't Nintendo fans saying that the console was going to fail, that it wasn't going to be as good as what people thought it was going to be. It wasn't going to sell that well, and then obviously it went to do like huge things, be one of Nintendo's biggest consoles ever. It was just a massive, massive, massive success. But with the Switch 2, it's a different type of hate. It's not only hate from the outside like we normally get, but it's also hate from the people that love Nintendo. It's from people that genuinely would never really hate on Nintendo. It's from Nintendo fans that are just hating on this console. And I have not been, it's no secret that I've been very iffy on this console as well. I feel like, some of the presentations that it's had was pretty weak. Some of the announcements have been pretty weak. The hype surrounding future games doesn't seem to be as strong. I've been on the cusp, with certain games. Oh, that's my phone ringing. Certain games, like I said, no edits, no cuts. You're going to get a phone ring, and sorry if it made anybody jump. But, there's certain games that I wasn't too happy with. Like, for instance, Mario Kart World was kind of a letdown for me. Donkey Kong Bonanza was a super high point for me. So on my channel, I keep it real. I praised Donkey Kong Bonanza, was called a shill, and I pretty much, gave some harsh criticism to Mario Kart World, but I also gave examples of how it could improve. But overall, I was pretty hard on Mario Kart World, and of course, I got called a hater. Right now online, you can't like or dislike anything without being called one or the other, without being thrown into a box as a hater or as a shill. It's always one or the other. You can't just be somebody that likes things when they're good and dislikes things when they're bad and have your own opinions. You get slandered for them. And that is how the world is acting today. So first off, I want to start off with the negative aspect of things. I want to start off with negativity. Right now, there's a lot of negative going on. And it's been like that for a while, but I think more than ever right now, negativity is spreading like wildfire. And it's from Nintendo fans, non-Nintendo fans, the in-between, everything. There's a lot of hate for this console, and for good reason. Like, let me start off by saying that Nintendo deserves hate at times, and they deserve, constructive criticism, telling them what they need to do and being vocal and, showing them that what they're doing is just not good. And they deserve hate right now. They have these outrageous prices. Their marketing is just really bad right now. There's so many games that they're not even really marketing. Metroid Prime 4 has had horrible marketing in my opinion. There's games coming out, 2 games next month, and we barely have any information on them with Kirby Air Riders and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's just strange. You know what I mean? Nintendo's just been really strange with this stuff. They don't have a single huge appealed game for the general masses coming up. Like, for instance, the biggest game I think coming out in the future is probably Fire Emblem, which is next year. And let's face it, Fire Emblem is not going to appeal to the masses. It's a niche franchise. It has its, subset of people that enjoy the game. And I'm sure it's going to go to sell pretty well for the franchise, but it's not something that's going to drive casual gamers into buying Switch 2s or anything like that. So when you look at the Switch 2, it's got issues. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here and trying to defend the console and trying to defend Nintendo, but I'm also not sitting here trying to endlessly, blindly hate for no reason. But right now there's a lot of hate, and it seems like the hate is fueled for the prices, for the games, for the quality of games, for the way Nintendo acts with these games, to the laziness of the games, like with Pokemon Legends ZA and its graphics and stuff, and $70 ports of Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. There's just a lot of hate, and some channels have taken it into their wing to kind of use this as their content, because right now it's so dull in the content creation sphere when it comes to Nintendo. The only thing people are making are hate videos, or kind of like these rage bait videos where it's just like every single day, every week, it's a hate video. And it's working because it's working. You know what I mean? They're making these videos because these videos are getting hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views. And it's bringing in the dough with it. Trust me, as someone who does this as a full-time job, that amount of views every video, every day is bringing in money. So obviously they're going to keep doing it. Right now, it seems like people, the problem really isn't the algorithm as much as it is the people that choose to watch these things. People see these hate videos and they click on them. Why? I don't know. It just seems like hate sells. Hate's always sold, but it seems like more now than it ever has before. New YouTubers are popping up, gaining subscribers like crazy just by posting things that, hate and slander Nintendo, which is just crazy. I talked about this in my main video. It took me so long to get the ball rolling as a smaller YouTuber, where, most of my videos that got the channel kicked off was ranking videos. It was analysis of games. It was all types of things. And, those are the things that really got the channel moving. But nowadays it seems like it's not those things. You know what I mean? It's just like hate videos of you just sitting in front of the camera and just hating on Nintendo. And, it is what it is. And like I said before, I have no hate towards any of these people because I posted a good chunk of hate videos myself. Not every day. I'm not, a hate Nintendo YouTuber or anything like that. I try to mix it between good and bad. But I can almost always understand a lot of these reasons why these YouTubers are hating. Outside of it just being something that's popular and, something that's going to get you a lot of views this day and age. But there's just a lot of wrong that Nintendo has been doing. And I feel like a lot of people need to open their mouths and say something about it. And I feel like right now there's just a side, which we'll get into here in a minute, that just, glazes Nintendo. Whatever Nintendo does is perfect. Nintendo can do no wrong. They are on top of the world. And I feel like, oh, yeah, we'll get into that in a second. There's a lot to talk about there. In a lot of ways, that side is even worse. But yeah, there's just a lot of hate right now. And it's so bad where if you post any type of video where you're glorifying Nintendo, or if you want to just talk about like something like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is really good, people don't care. People are not going to watch it that much, or people are going to say you're a shill, or, the Switch 2 is awful. This game is mid. Why are you praising it? These are the comments I got for talking about Donkey Kong Bonanza and saying it was a really good game, a 10 out of 10 to me. People just didn't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They believe, with all their heart that Nintendo is just an evil company and that they can do no good. But even with that said, I think for the most part, Donkey Kong Bonanza had the least amount of hate out of anything that's happened for the Switch 2 so far, which is good. You know what I mean? I didn't see too many hate videos on Donkey Kong Bonanza because I just think, you know, you can maybe not be a fan of that type of gameplay, but you got to admit it's a great game. And I think a lot of people did just straight up admit that it's a great game. But that toxic negativity is just spreading all over YouTube like a virus, man. It's becoming this thing where, like, if you're not making toxic negative videos, then you're not getting views. And it's happening like that across the board for small and big channels everywhere. There's small channels trying to grow their channels by posting unique, interesting videos with tons of editing in it, and they're not even getting noticed. You know, they're not even getting over 1,000 views, just simply due to the fact that if you're not hating, you're not gaining subscribers. I don't know, I'll try to make a little rhyme thing there. But look, toxic negativity is bad right now. But man, I never thought we'd live in a world where I feel like toxic positivity is just as worse, if not 10 times worse. Dude, it's bad, okay? There is a group, there's like a circle of Nintendo boys on Twitter, on YouTube. There's some channels, some other YouTube channels that are like this, that just endlessly glaze Nintendo. And if anyone around them, anyone at all, says anything bad about Nintendo, says anything negative about their precious Nintendo, then they are furious. They post you on Twitter, they clip you, they talk about you on YouTube, they say you're a problem, that you're just a big hater if you just have an opinion, which is crazy. And like I said, it's both ways. I see people posting how much they love Pokemon Legends ZA and getting hated on for that because they're saying that the game is terrible and that they're just shills. And I see people posting videos of how they don't like Mario Kart World and getting hated on it because, you know, they're haters and they can't enjoy things. And I'm just like, I think here's the thing. If someone dislikes a game and posts a video about it, or if someone loves a game and posts a video about it, just shut up. Like, can someone hate a video? Can someone love a video? Now, I can see if it's strange if you're just posting 50 Mario Kart hate videos in a row, which some channels are. That's just ridiculous. I'm like, okay, we get it. You know what I mean? We understand it. You don't need to keep, I mean, clearly you're doing it for the views and for the money at this point, but saying it in like a couple of videos, maybe even 5 videos is enough. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think Mario Kart deserves the hate. I think Pokemon may be a little bit overhated as someone who just recently started the game. I'm only about a couple hours in, but I think it's a really good game for what it is so far. I don't really, you know, yes, the textures need some work, and yes, you could fix the graphics up a little bit, but it's nothing to really just be, you know, slandering people for loving. You know what I mean? But yeah, toxic positivity is probably worse because if you post a video saying how much you love a game, odds are you're going to get very little hate. You know what I mean? You're going to get very little hate. But if you post a video talking about how much you hate a game, you're going to get a lot of hate. Whether the views are high or not, you're going to get a lot of hate. There's going to be people clipping you. There's like a group of Twitter people that get all their views on Twitter by screenshotting someone's thumbnail on YouTube and posting it on Twitter with no context, and they just get tons of likes because, you know, it's funny. They tell us to stop hating on video games, yet they hate on the people that posted the hate videos. So their response to the haters is to hate on the haters, which gives them views too. So the same way that YouTubers are hating on games and rage baiting and getting all these views and money and stuff, the Twitter people are doing the exact same thing by clipping hate stuff and, you know, referring to it with hate. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm losing you here, but maybe you understand. I don't know. But my whole point is, you know, hate here, hate there. Everybody's getting money from hate. I don't know how anyone's complaining about it. But toxic positivity is bad. Dude, I cannot tell you. You can't say something bad about Nintendo on Twitter or on really any space where other content creators and other, you know, just people are, because they will hate you. They're like, you're a greedy brat. You're spoiled. You're ungrateful because you didn't like Mario Kart World. What? Oh, I wasn't a fan of that Nintendo Direct. I was really expecting, you know, some other really big game to look forward to. We have all of this goodness. You are just a hater. You need to just go back in your hole and play other games. It's just like, can people have opinions? I guarantee you the general public that would watch that Nintendo Direct would say, not really any reason to buy a Switch 2 right now. Because what general public is going to be excited for another Mario Tennis game? What general consumer of games is going to go out and buy a $450 console for the third Hyrule Warriors game? What general consumer is going to go out and buy a $450 console for a Kirby spin-off racing game? It's stuff like that is what I'm saying. Like, the general public is probably looking at that last Direct like, that's it? Like, that's all you have for me? And that's the point I'm trying to make here. But if you post anything like that, Direct didn't do it for me. I'm not a big fan of, Nintendo's weird lately with their marketing or anything criticizing Nintendo. Oh my gosh, the toxic positivity side just bashes and bashes and bashes and claws at you. And it just feels like, dude, at times I kind of I kind of want to jump on the sides of the Nintendo haters because I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are just unbearable. There's some people that genuinely I have not, and maybe that's just their personality. They're just really happy and stuff, and I get that. And it's always good to, have good takes on, good outlooks on life and stuff. And that's, some of them I know, and they're just really, really super awesome, nice people. But there's some people that are not only super, super chills for Nintendo, but like they blast other people for not being it. You know what I mean? They'll be on Twitter like, Nintendo's the best, every other console sucks. And then somebody will say something like, well, I like my PS5. It's terrible. Die. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, when did Nintendo fans become Xbox fans, become PlayStation fans, where they're just like toxic now? Like, there's some people that I legit used to follow on Twitter that post Nintendo updates and stuff, and they're so toxically positive, like they bash anybody else that has any opinion. They literally cannot, for the life of them, say something bad about Nintendo. Nintendo could do the worst thing ever. They could blow up a hospital, and still there'd be a crowd of these Nintendo people on Twitter saying, well, that probably wasn't Nintendo. It was another company. Nintendo wouldn't do that. That's my company. And I don't know if it's this extreme success from the Switch 1 that got people feeling this way, but they're like on this high where they feel like Nintendo can do no wrong. And I almost wish like for a week, we could go back to the Wii U days, because I feel like they're just like, remember the Wii U days? Like, everybody was humble. If you loved the Wii U and you owned the Wii U, you was humble about it. You knew that no one really liked it, but you loved your Wii U. Like I loved playing the Wii U. I knew none of my friends had the console except for one. I knew, most people didn't have the console. I knew most people thought it was a childish, corny, goofy console to have, but I didn't care. It got teased. It got blasted during the era of all the other consoles and stuff, the PS4 and, even when the PS5 came out and, so I've been through these things. I've been through that, but still, like, the Nintendo fans around the Wii U were like, we were all happy with each other. We felt like a community. We felt together. We were all in Miiverse together having a good time. There was no toxic, well, at least from what I've seen. Maybe it's because Twitter wasn't a big thing yet, but there wasn't that much toxicity between Nintendo fans and between, when people didn't like things, we didn't like things. When people like things, we like things. It was like, okay, whatever. It's our console and everybody else hates it. We're having fun with our Wii U's. But now it's like, and even with the Switch 1, it was like that for the most part. But with the Switch 2, it just feels like if you don't like your Switch 2 or you're not a fan of what Nintendo's been doing so far, you're an outcast, you're a hater, go away, be gone from me. We hate you. But if you praise Nintendo endlessly, there's also a group that will say, you're a shill, all you do is praise Nintendo, you worship Nintendo, get away from me. So it's like, you can't have opinions online anymore. If, you're somebody like me who likes the good stuff and doesn't like the bad stuff, like a normal person should, you're considered a shill, hater, shill, whatever they want to call you that week. But it's just bad online right now. And the community doesn't even feel fun to be around. You go online and you maybe even like want to talk about something Nintendo and just no one's even really, I remember like almost every week during the Switch era of like that entire 7 to 8 years, there was something to talk about, whether it be some exciting new game, whether it be just, speculating something really exciting or everybody was happy over something. But I feel like this entire last 5 months of Switch 2 has just been the most toxic, most tiring debates online. Every day now, the news is like something with a prize, something with a game key card, something with Nintendo doing something stupid with a charity organization or like some type of tournaments or something. It's always just something. Something just boring, bad, and bland. And it feels like that's just what the Nintendo community has evolved into so far this year. It's just like everyone's at each other's necks. The Nintendo community is divided. We're just, I don't know how we even got here, but it's just bad. The online space is toxic. it's so toxic where I made a video where I said, you know what would fix this right now? One really big game to get us all happy. I said, so that way the haters can join the shills and we can all come together and just be a happy Nintendo family again. And I was like, something like Smash Brothers hype or 3D Mario hype, the next 3D Zelda hype, the next Animal Crossing hype, something where we can just all come together collectively and be excited for something and be hyped for something again. I'm like, that's what we need, and I think that would get everything back on track. I posted the video, and my comment section is flooded with hate. Twitter is blasting me all over, sending my thumbnail all around, full of hate. I'm just getting blasted everywhere you look, and I'm like utterly stunned. I'm like, are we kidding? And it was mostly from that toxic positivity side. They were blasting me because I said it would be nice if we had one big game that everyone, gamers, non-gamers, hardcore Nintendo fans, casuals alike, could all be excited for. Apparently that's not okay to say. Apparently we have enough. I need to shut up. But it's just stuff like that. You can't even have freedom of speech anymore, man. You can't even just sit online and just talk about, hey, I think we should have one big game. And I've seen other content creator friends of mine posted a video very similar, and they all got blasted, just destroyed for something like that. I mean, it's just sad. It's just so sad, man. Meanwhile, you have people out here just rage baiting, clickbaiting Nintendo hardcore, saying how god awful the company is doomed, blah blah blah. Here I am trying to make a video of a solution that would be really great to bring us all together, and I'm getting hated for it. So I'm like, I'm under the impression now there's nothing you can do. I felt a little bit bad about it. I made videos about it, and I kind of just got in my feelings like, man, am I really hated over something like that? And I think that's why. I think it really opened my mind as to like, if I'm getting hate over a video where I'm trying to bring people together, at this point, it just shows me that we have officially gone off the deep end on both sides, that the negativity is consuming us, the toxic positivity is consuming us, and it's just right now an all-out war. It's a battle, and it's just not fun to be a Nintendo fan right now. It's not, and I know a lot of people are feeling that way as well. There's fun things to play. I'm going to have fun things to play for the rest of this year and stuff, but it's just not fun to look forward to video games as a community, and it just seems like, I know every game that comes out now, I think it's so, unbelievably toxic and negative. I know every game that comes out, no matter how good it's going to be for the rest of this year, is going to be filled with toxic hate. You're going to be seeing videos of how Metroid Prime 4 doesn't look like a next-gen game, how the graphics are bad, how, this next Age of Imprisonment Hyrule Warriors game is just another mid-Hyrule Warriors game, and you're going to see all these videos, clickbaiting views, and, all this stuff, because it's what sells. It's what sells right now. And that's what makes it not only bad for the community and bad for consumers of this content, but it's even bad. I think this is one of the lowest points and one of the hardest points, I would say, Nintendo content creators have had in a while. And I've been doing this, not as long as some other people on the platform, but around 6 to 7 years now. And so pretty much the entirety of the Switch era is where the YouTube game really took off for a lot of people. I know there was a lot of really big YouTubers still doing it towards the end of the Wii and the Wii U era, and with the 3DS and stuff. But, that Switch era is where it really took off for a lot of people. And I have not seen it like this in forever. Even 2020, which was really hard and there wasn't much content at all to talk about, us as a community, we had stuff to talk about. You know what I mean? We made things to talk about, from rumors to leaks to stuff to what we were excited about. And we helped carry Nintendo through that year with excitement, man. When we were guessing what the 3D All-Stars game was going to be like when it got leaked and rumored. But man, this is worse than 2020. This is worse. Like, here I am 5 months after the Switch 2 launch already. And I'm like, and this was before this too. I mean, it was like, as soon as Donkey Kong Bonanza came out, it just felt flat. Where everything people are talking about on YouTube is either, just news that's popping up or, negativity to get views. Because that's all we have. The algorithm has shifted in such a way where you can no longer just post ranking videos and get hundreds of thousands of views. You can no longer post theories and get hundreds of thousands of views unless it's, some extremely new, extremely popular trending game, which we don't have anything like that in the lineup right now. So, yeah, it just seems like YouTube has just shifted. The world has just shifted. There's been a shift. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. I don't know if you can tell. Of course. But it's just, there's a shift. There's a change. And I know I said in my video, it's not fun sometimes making content, and I will admit it's not. And I think that's a big reason why I created this channel. A lot of people can, you can sit and say, hey, why don't you just make some content on older games, some retrospectives and stuff. No one's going to watch that stuff this day and age. I don't think you understand. I mean, I follow and I'm around a lot of other content creators, and I see, trends and what's popping off for other people and stuff. That's what you have to do to see what the heck you're going to make. And it's just those things that used to pop off back then, those ranking videos, those top 10s, those, details you missed in this and analyses, those type of videos. It seems like that era is almost like over. We're now in a new era of just like quick, in the moment news, headlines, Nintendo Direct reactions type stuff, and then hate. So, I mean, I hope things change, but, people think for some reason, just like next year, things are going to be different. Nothing's going to be different until Nintendo steps up and has a bulk of really exciting things to look forward to so people can talk about. Because what in the world are people going to talk about right now? We know literally nothing of Age of Imprisonment, really. We know very little of Kirby Air Riders, and the stuff that we do know just doesn't seem to be anything that's like super exciting to talk about and speculate. Metroid Prime 4, once again, is just in the dark with content. We don't really know what's going on with this game. Every trailer is like a small snippet of something that should be one big whole juicy trailer. Mario Tennis, I mean, who's talking about Mario Tennis? Who's talking about another Switch 2 edition, which is for Mario Wonder this time around? It's just like the stuff that's coming out is not leading to speculation. And I feel like the only thing you have is for Fire Emblem fans is Fire Emblem. What's the name of the game? I forgot the name of the game. But the new Fire Emblem game. It's in this like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's weird. There's just like nothing to really sit and speculate, have fun with, talk about, be excited for as a community as a whole. And if you try to go outside the box and be different and try these new ideas, they're just not going to work. The only way channels are growing right now is if you're just toxic negativity to the max. And, it sucks. And I told myself, I'm still going to be a hater when it comes to be a hater. Like, when it comes to, like, Nintendo not doing what they're supposed to do with their games or doing something stupid, I'm going to call them out on it. But I'm also going to, give them their credit where credit's due when they do release good things like Donkey Kong Bonanza and stuff. So it's a little bit of both, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just sit and be negative because it gets good views and it gets good money. Yes, it does. As someone who does this all the time, I can rest assured it does. It pays well. People love seeing negative stuff. If you post a negative video, it's going to get 10 times the views as a positive video. It's just the way the world works. We're just an evil world. But that's why we need Jesus. We need Jesus in this world because this is where this is what we are at. I mean, everything online is just a fight. There's wars with everything from political sides, from video game sides, from within the same video game franchises to companies. Everyone's just fighting each other, left and right. There is no way out, it seems like right now. It's just fights after fights after fights, and it's just gotten hard. It's gotten hard, man. It makes you just not excited to go make a video. You know what I mean? It makes me not excited to sit at my desk and work on the next video for the next day. And I just hope things change, man. Maybe this is just a bad year when it comes to just like the way people are. Maybe it gets worse. Maybe next year is even worse. Maybe it's better. Who knows? But man, it just seems like, the main trending videos right now are just something bad. Even YouTube, when it's like, there's like this function where YouTube recommends like ideas based on other people's views and what people are getting. They're like, here's some inspiration for you. Here's like the trending videos. And like 9 out of the 10 videos that it recommends me is just like Nintendo's doomed, Nintendo sucks, Nintendo's over, the era's over. It's just like, this is not fun. You know what I mean? Yes, I could sit here and make videos on old classic stuff and stuff that I've been wanting to make for a while and spend like weeks and months working really hard on super big projects. But what is it going to amount to? You know what I mean? I'm going to waste all my time doing all this because it is, as someone who does this full time, it's wasting my time, it's wasting my money, it's wasting my efforts when it could be put into other things that are going to grow my channel and, help me to make more money for my family. So like, you got to think of it that way. It's just not about, hey, make some creative stuff. I'll make some creative stuff if that creative stuff gets views. But if people rather watch somebody sitting, pooping on Nintendo all day long compared to a 2-month long effort given video that I made. Why would I give effort? Why it's the same thing with movies. Why do you think they cancel sequels so much and prequels and stuff and, follow-ups and stuff? It's because when the movie underperforms at the box office, no matter how bad people want to see it, no matter how well it did review-wise, but if people aren't watching, if people aren't going, you're going to cancel that sequel. You can't afford to do it anymore. That's like, I think a perfect example is that Transformers 1 movie. Everybody was saying like how good of a movie it was made. Like it was a great animation film. It was one of their favorites. It was so good. But they canceled any more movies within that art style simply due to the fact that it's just not bringing in the revenue. That's just how the world works, and that's why we have so many sequels of some of the Toy Story 5 and 6 and 7. That's why they keep going, is because it's the things that make money. When you're in the content creation world, it starts to make sense to you. You might be wondering, why do we only get sequels in movies now instead of original ideas? Because all those original ideas just fall flat at the box office and they don't make these companies any money. So we have no choice. We have no choice but to make sequels, to keep talking about 3D Marios, to keep posting about the same things over and over and over again, because it's the only things that generate that excitement from people. We're in this day and age where right now it's negativity, it's hating on new ideas, and it's just like, I don't know, we're just in this toxic cycle. Man, I've been ranting. I'm all over the place now, but that's about it. I'm just so tired of this. And it seems like every week and every month it gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm at my wit's end. I'm just about just to the point where I don't know what's going to be next. Like, what if next year is like this the entirety of the year? I think I can't mentally do this. like what are we like? All right, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just like, when everybody else is growing, being toxically negative, that's even a word. What am I supposed to do? It's either I give in and I become a sellout and I just change the channel to a big negativity, sellout channel, and my credibility goes down the tank, but I get paid for it. Or I just slowly stop making content because the content that I make doesn't work, and I slowly start to move away from this as a full-time job. I don't know. I know I'm going to extremes here, but it's stuff like that. It's just like, do I sell out or do I stay put? And I'm going to stay put. I'm not going to just make negative hate videos just because they do well. Like, I couldn't imagine really loving a game and saying, I want to talk about how much I love this game, but it's not going to do good views, so I'm going to talk about how much I hate it instead. What a world we live in. But let me know down below. Have you been part of this toxic positivity, negativity battle? Have you witnessed this going on online on Twitter and stuff? And just let me know, how are you feeling with Switch 2 right now? Are you more on the positive side? Do you enjoy the console? Or are you more on the negative side? Do you not really enjoy what's been happening so far? But thank you for tuning in. Once again, leave a like and subscribe. Help us grow. Help us get to 3,000 subs. And hopefully here soon we can start talking about some other things that are more fun and more interesting to talk about. But yeah, this has just been something that's on my mind for a while. I know a lot of people wanted to hear me talk about something like this, but stop being toxic. Stop being a toxic, negative person. Stop hating everything just because it does good views, it gives you good money, and stop just being an overall nothing but hater. Enjoy life a little bit, loosen up, chill out, but also stop being a toxic, positive person, please. Like, stop acting like this multi-billion-dollar company can't do any wrong. They're not your friends. They're here to make video games and make a profit. They could care less about what you say with them online and what you do. Like, they're not going to send you money. They're not going to send you free stuff. Most of you guys, anyways. So stop being stop being so toxic to people. And I guess here's the thing at the end of the day. As long as you're not posting daily, weekly, monthly, yearly negative videos, let people hate on a game. Let people love on a game. Show love to each of them. Give them a chance to explain. If people are explaining in full detail, hour-long videos why they don't like a game or why they don't like Nintendo right now, watch it and hear what they have to say. If people are leaving, once again, the same thing, videos of how they love a game or how they love Nintendo, watch it, see what they say. Let people love things, let people hate things, mind your own business. Stop clip farming on Twitter, stop clip farming on whatever you do on YouTube, whatever. enjoy life. If you love Pokemon Legends ZA, love the game, move on. If somebody hates Pokemon Legends ZA, let them hate the game, let them express their hate for the game, and let them move on. I don't know why we have to be these like dictators of what's. And I think I'm sorry, I'm still gonna rant a little bit longer. One thing is, this shows you that I really got to get. I've been getting off Twitter a lot lately. I only get on Twitter now like for a little bit each day just to check the news and stuff, and I just have notifications turned on if news does come. But one thing I'll say is, lots of these accounts that spread this negativity or like to talk about people in YouTube videos and other people online, they're kids. And I know a good chunk of you watching this or listening to this right now are children. A lot of you are older too. You tell me that, you're listening to it on the way to work and stuff, but a lot of you guys might be children. And it blows my mind that, some of them, like, I'll see bashing me. I'm like, man, who is this? And I'll click on their profile, say 13, 14, 15, 16. And I'm like, what are we doing? And these little 14, 15, 16-year-old kids are getting thousands of followers on Twitter from just posting just the most ridiculous stuff. And I just don't get it. Man, when I was young, I wasn't sitting on Twitter screenshotting people's YouTube videos and trying to post for rage bait likes and stuff. Dude, I was outside. I didn't even have Twitter. I knew a lot of people that did have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I didn't have none of them social medias. I was outside playing street two-hand touch football, backyard tackle football, basketball in the driveway, wiffle ball in the street, going to baseball games after school, going to basketball practice after school, shoveling the driveway for my parents, shoveling the driveway in the winter for neighbors to make money. I was hustling, I was moving, I was grinding. And when I wasn't doing that stuff, I was doing my homework, watching movies, or playing video games. Like, this day and age, bro, these kids have nothing to do besides sit on Twitter and just rage bait post and screenshot stuff from people and hate on them in order to farm views, farm clicks, farm likes. It's just ridiculous, man. I've just been amazed at how many of these accounts are children. Because I guess in your head when you think all these people, like, this got to be some grown adult being annoying. No, they're kids. They are children. Man, this world is just, we need to get rid of technology. I know that means losing my job, but like, dude, if it meant that we all could just go off the grid for like a year, I would. I'll go do something else for a year. Get off the internet, go outside, go enjoy the weather. You don't know how much longer we have the ability to just go outside and enjoy life. Jesus made this beautiful world. The air is crisp. It's so nice out still, at least for most of us still. Go enjoy it before fall and gets cold and snow, or even when it does snow. Go out and play in the snow. Okay, I'm ranting. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.